February 2024 wasn't a bad month for new gacha games. We got to see Crunchyroll fail once again with One Punch Man World, not even making it into the top 30 highest grossing gacha games in its launch month. Astris from the developers of Arknights and Arknights Enfield launched, although it's a paid game, so not really a gacha. AFK Journey held a test phase, which admittedly was a lot of fun, and a few other Asian gacha games either launched or held tests that I didn't get to participate in. March looks like it might end up being really good, as there are a few titles that many of us have been eagerly anticipating for a long time now. Hey, my name is Stix and welcome back to another episode of Gachas releasing next month, a video series I do every single month where I take the time to make all of you aware of everything releasing over the course of the next 30 days in an effort to make sure that you don't miss anything. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the little bell notification, that way you remain up to date with everything that I post, and I post every single day. You're gonna make sure you don't want to miss out on anything that I cover. Also, if you're curious what came out this month, last month, the month before, then I urge you to go on over and take a look at all the videos in this series that I've been covering for over a year now. Other than that, let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's start this off by talking about Honkai Impact 3rd, Part 2. Part 2 is not an entirely new game, rather it is an entirely new version of the game. Not only are we progressing in terms of narrative with new characters and new settings, not only are they altering gacha rates, implementing some pretty significant quality of life improvements, but in a recent stream, the dev team confirmed that the game will be available on Mac. They have several online and offline events planned, along with numerous upcoming collabs like Razor. All in all, Part 2 is on track to look and feel like an entirely new game set in the Honkai Impact universe, and I am personally very excited to play catch up over the next couple months until I reach it. The release date is set for February 29th, which I know isn't technically March, but I mean, it is literally the day before March starts. Resident Solstice is a unique upcoming gacha game where players take on the role of a conductor. You drive a train, you engage in battles against enemies, and well, I'm gonna be blunt with all of you. I don't really know what the story has to offer players or if there is even really much of a story at all. Combat takes the form of a real-time card system with hundreds of different cards and thousands of different card combinations. All characters feature full-life 2D animations, which is always a plus. Players will navigate a large world via train, exploring different locales, visiting different cities, each with their own unique stories and characters. There are hundreds of husbandos and waifus to collect. This is a gacha game that takes a very interesting perspective, one that I've never really encountered. My only concern here is based off of the gameplay that I saw, and that is that it did feel very clunky and very slow, as the bulk of the game does take the form of literally just driving the train, but I mean, it might also be a lot more engaging than that. I won't know until I play it. Much like Honkai Impact 3rd Part 2, the game is also releasing on February 29th, but since I didn't include it in last month's video because it wasn't confirmed at the time, I feel obligated to include it here. Before we discuss the remainder of gacha games launching in March 2024, allow me to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon. Your guys' support is why I can make videos like this every single month, and I deeply appreciate you all being there for me. Solo Leveling Arise has been one of the most anticipated gacha games ever since it was announced, and while that anticipation is most definitely warranted, the concern surrounding it has just as much merit. Solo Leveling Arise is a beautiful gacha game. Character models look fantastic, the environments look great, the action combat looks very impressive, plus it is based on the solo leveling intellectual property, so there was always going to be a lot of hype surrounding it. However, in spite of how incredible this game looks and sounds on paper, the matter of the fact is, it is being handled by Netmarble. Netmarble have ruined pretty much every single game, not just gacha game, every single game that they have ever gotten their grubby little hands on. And as much as I hate to admit defeat this early, this game probably won't be any different. Netmarble's work mantra is, profits first, screw our players. Now, I could be wrong, and Netmarble could pull off the rare win, but it is doubtful. Nevertheless, I still plan on enjoying what I can from the game before everyone stops playing it, or Netmarble ruins it One of the two. Solo Leveling Arise is holding what is believed to be an open beta test on March 8th, 2024, with a full release in April. I've played a little bit of AFK Arena in the past, and it wasn't really my kind of game. I played the beta for AFK Journey recently, however, and holy crap was this game completely different to anything that I had expected. It had a large open world to explore that was admittedly gated behind story, which was fine. It had great character models, the option to create your own character, a fully voiced over story, actual characters with personalities. I went into this game thinking it was going to be an AFK idle game, when in reality, what I got to experience was just so much more. There are AFK features present, yes, but this is in no way an AFK game. And that's part of what made the game so much fun. You were required to actually play it. Now, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention when AFK Journey is releasing specifically, as I have future dedicated sponsored videos coming on it as part of a deal with the developer, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assume I am allowed to, at the very least, say that in theory it should be releasing in March 2024, and I cannot wait to get to fully play it. It is an incredible amount of fun, much more than it really had any right to be. If you've ever played Dungeon Fighter Online, you'll immediately recognize the kind of game this is, as ASTRA describes themselves as a visually stunning, story-rich, violent 2D action RPG brawler, where players tackle numerous dungeons, instances, much in the way you would a dungeon crawler. It seems very dark, filled with gruesome action combat, with the devs touting their fluid 2D combat with powerful skills and dodge rolling. What's more, ASTRA is not a single-player game, rather it actually allows for up to 4 Knights of Veda to be present in a group, so cross-play with up to 3 other players is possible, allowing for full cooperative play, rewarding players by allowing them to explore and progress together. ASTRA is opening pre-registration on March 5th, 2024, with a release date coming shortly after. Zenless Zone Zero is probably tied with Wuthering Waves as 2024's biggest, most hyped, most anticipated gacha release. Or at the very least, it was until it became apparent to all of us that the game was a TV simulator, and Wuthering Waves emerged as the most anticipated gacha game of 2024. But let me be completely blunt with all of you. Yes, the TV aspect of the game is absolute turd-worthy. It could be very fun as a minigame. It could be an interesting little side activity that enhances core gameplay. But putting that aside, the gameplay itself, the fluidity of movements, the narrative, the voice acting, so much of Zenless remains an absolute staple of quality production and will still arguably be a lot of fun to play. I'm just hoping they find a way to balance the TV sim by either refocusing the game on gameplay or making gameplay stages much more common. It was confirmed recently that Zenless has opened pre-registration with China at present, with what is speculated as an NDA test being run before final launch. So, pre-registration is currently open. There might be a single additional public test phase this month within China, with a rumored April launch. Whether that's true remains to be seen, but we could potentially get a single final test globally within the next month, so I'd strongly urge you to keep an eye out, because I'm still excited to play it. I just hate that they nerfed Nicole, man. Absolutely gutted after seeing her new model. And that is all 6 gacha games that I'm aware of that are releasing in some form and are playable in March 2024. There's a lot to be excited for, and some we're gonna want to immediately pass on, but hopefully March provides you something to have some fun in. Again, if you're interested, I urge you to check out one of the videos on screen right now for more gacha goodness.